And we are live. Hello to all the Catdets out there. My name is Cash. We are here, going to start the planetary call in just a moment. We are waiting for America's favorite, or I should say the world's favorite cat. And you know this? You speak of the devil and he shall appear. Meow is in the building here, giving me a little heartburn coming late.
Meow.
There he is.
Meow.
Meow's in the chat. Drop a little JM if you haven't already. Let us know where you're calling in from. I love seeing hello to everyone out in YouTube land and in Twitter land and all the other lands that are out there. We have a great one today. This is a very exciting planetary call. A lot of big things happening. Before we get started here, we got to forge those diamond paws. Meow, have you seen the POAP yet? Have you seen the one that Sirnaynay put together?
No, not yet.
Ooh, you're going to be a fan. It's diamond paws, as specially requested. Who all do we have here? We have people calling in from Manchester, from Germany, from Kenya land, from Nigeria, all over the world. Ireland is in the building as well. JMs to everybody all around. You have someone calling in from Sanctum's Wonderland, which we like
Wonderland.
To see.
Wow, amazing. How's the weather then? Wonderland. How's the weather?
Cloudy, I believe.
Cool. That's a good one.
Yeah. We did not plan that, folks. That is all improv humor. We are trying to find all the cough syrup before Julian chugs it all. Shout out to Julian from the Catdets working group. And we're getting locked in for the giant unified market, which is the major theme of today's call here. So let me pause this music and let us actually get started here in just a second. In 3, 2, and 1. Hello, and welcome to the Jupiter Planetary Call. It is May 22nd. Oh, sultry tones from Meow there. A little ASMR maybe after the call, if people are lucky. That was less pleasurable, I would say. Let's put on something more pleasurable with the unofficial/official Catdets theme song.
Let's go. So good. I love it.
Every time it gets me amped up, folks. I saw somebody asking in the chat where to find this song. You can find this on the Jupiter YouTube channel and play it 40 times a day. I highly recommend making it your alarm clock in the morning. It will wake you up with a bang of energy.
Then because the jam,
yeah, vicious jams in the morning.
Oh, yeah. It's the best, seriously, it's like if you're depressed or you're sad, your girlfriend left you, some coin dumped on you, you got rocked. No worries. Just play this shit. I promise you'll be great.
Blast this. This is antidepressants are number 3 on the list. Number 2 is running. Number 1 on how to feel better. Listen to this song over and over again.
Yeah, let's go.
J for J's in the chat. I am, of course, Cash Donda, the head of I work on the Uplink working group. I also run Super Team and am the host of the ecosystem call. And I will be the host for this call for the next 60-ish minutes. We're not sure exactly how long this is going to go. We'll find out.
Let's do it. 60. Let's go.
60 minutes? All right, we're going to try it, folks. We've said that in the past. It hasn't always been hit. We'll try it out today.
It's different, man. I'm determined now. I'm determined. Look at my eyes. I'm determined. Let's go.
Oh, scared of a meow determined is a scary sight indeed, folks. But I know we're all excited and engaged for this call because it is going to be the 14th one that we've done of these, which is pretty wild. In case it is your first time here, welcome. All we do on this call is celebrate the people, the products, the whole community that makes JUP great. There's a lot of stuff happening across the JUPiverse on any given day. And our role today is to help communicate that to all of you and provide a place for the whole community to come together. We love seeing the chat coming together. So if you're watching this, make sure you open up the chat on Twitter or on YouTube and say JM. We have a corker of an agenda today. We're going to go through the wins of the week. Then we're going to spend the bulk of the call talking about gum, which if you know, you know. And if you don't know, you're about to find out. One of the most exciting things happening in crypto, in my opinion, coming up, or at least certainly in its ambition. Then we're going to have some partners to spotlight here. We're going to hear from the web working group. We're going to have, of course, Catdets Corner, and then the closing POAP. The POAP comes at the very end of the call, and it is Diamond Pod themed, which is very exciting. One quick thing, a little programming note, if you are watching this out here, as we continually seek to expand the impact of the Uplink Working Group, we want more community contribution. And I'm very excited to say that Nick, aka Organized General, hopefully you don't mind me saying your actual name, Nick, Organized General, and Ordy Rums, who's been a long time cadet and community member here, are pushing forward a new initiative. They reached out permissionlessly, just being like, hey, we have this great idea of something we want to see happen. Let us lead it. And that's what it's all about. Decentralization is the abundance of leaders. So these two lovely folks are creating a new bounty here to create reels from Meow and Luke Belmar's interview on the When Shift Happens podcast. So anybody can create clips less than 60 seconds long, post them to YouTube, YouTube, TikTok, or Instagram. Start to broaden the reach of Jupiter. Let's start to reach some of the normies, get outside of our kind of crypto Twitter bubble. You can submit it over there. There's the source files and some guidelines. Check that out. The deadline is next Wednesday. Very excited to see what the community can put together here. Speaking of the community, should we get into wins of the week, Meow?
Let's go.
Let's do it. All right, here we go. Win number one is a juicy one. The next LFG vote is happening in, let's see, just under an hour and a half, folks. Basically, as soon as this call ends, the LFG voting will begin for the third round ever. So we have, of course, Exchange Art, the one-of-one and limited edition NFT marketplace. We have D-Bridge, the cross-chain infrastructure, and we have DiviBet, which is all around on-chain sports betting. But this vote is not like the others, because now there's been some big changes that are coming based on your feedback. So thank you again to everybody who shared feedback. That's what we really love to see. The first of the three changes, blind voting. So you will no longer be able to see exactly what the results are right when you cast your vote or when they show up. Or when you show up to the page, which hopefully means that people will vote their conscience. As a reminder, I cannot say this enough. Active stake and rewards, ASR, are distributed to anybody who votes. Does not matter who you vote for. So all you have to do is vote for whoever you think is the best candidate. The second thing, we've enabled partial unstaking, long-time feature request here, which means if you have 100 JUP staked, maybe you only want to take off 50 JUP and you still want to vote fully with the other 50, you will be able to now do that. As soon as your vote becomes, your stake becomes partially unstaked, by the way, that voting for that portion will not work, but you'll still be able to vote with the other 50. And then finally, there's the informed voter timer, another high request here. We want to make sure people are making informed votes. And so based on the community's ideas here, there's going to be a timer after you open up the vote.jup.ag page. That way you're encouraged to go and watch the short interviews that Uplink has done, the long-form town halls that CWG has done, or at the very least, read their JUP research proposal, go into the Discord and learn more. So big changes come into the vote. Gets better every time. Every round, it's getting better and better, which is what we love to see. And I see W's flowing the chat as well. I'm a dumb car, Meow? What does that mean?
Cat.
Oh, I'm a dumb cat. Okay. All right. So that is it on the LFG side. Again, that's going to take place in just after this call ends. Second win of the week. Big integration happening here. Our friends over at Sanctum, FP Lee's been on this call before. Sanctum Infinity is now fully integrated into Jupiter routing. Infinity is their single token that represents a bunch of different liquid staking tokens behind it. Now that it's routed directly through Jupiter, you are going to get better rates for your swaps across different LSDs. And they're already seeing ridiculous amounts of volume on this, which is pretty fascinating and exciting to see. Big shout out to Pierre, the legend, and the Sanctum team for putting this one together. Next win. This one was a little bit unexpected here. I'll be honest. We were kind of shitposting a little bit on Twitter, and boy, did the community come out. So we tweeted 1,000 retweets and we'll start a record label, and that got smashed pretty quickly. So drop a W in the chat if you want to hear Meow rap, and he might do it right now. Or drop a Lady Killer if you want to hear Soju rap as well.
That'd be such a great rap song. Holy shit. Wait, let me change my name 1 second. Soju, dude, that'd be such a great song, you know?
I think the Soju Meow collab, that's the new the new Wu-Tang Clan is going to be the J.U.P Clan coming out here. We're going to get Ben Liu on it and a bunch of other folks as well. But yeah, the W's are flowing, dude. Are you going to drop a little freestyle for us right now, or do you?
Nah, I can do it. I can stand up. I'm learning. I'm taking lessons. Let's do
taking lessons. Check back in next week to find out. But we are gonna, just based on how much people love this idea, we are gonna have some kind of contest coming up.
Seriously, I think one thing that I've really noticed is that there's so much energy, man. It's like I think I tweeted something. I think there's actually a lot of energy, like musical energy in our community, right? That I really want to see happen, right? So I think we are currently, me and Cash we're currently thinking about ideas about what to do on the music front. So if you have any ideas about like what to do, like how we can actually produce more music, to kind of carry the energy, let us know. Yeah, in the comments, and just talk to us.
Yeah, let us know specifically in the Discord Uplink working group channel. I want that channel to become more active, so I would love if people could put any ideas in there. If you yourself are a musician and want to do something, let us know over there. I saw somebody asked, where is Miria in all this? Miria, if you're watching this, respond to my DMs. She was arguably the first signing to the JUP record label, but she has not yet responded. She big time, bro. She became famous on the call, and now she's big time.
Cash, can you rap? Can you sing?
I cannot rap. I used to, as a fun fact, I used to manage a rapper. I used to make beats, but I don't actually rap.
No, but really?
Yeah,
Holy shit.
My first company was actually in the music space, doing a bunch. Anyway, that's a whole other kind of thing. But let me play some actual music from someone who can rap, which is Dr. Prebon. In case you missed it, this is the welcome.jup.ag theme song.
Welcome.jup.ag. Welcome.jup.ag. I tell them come to the main scene. Solana's boom going crazy. Yeah. Bring it, we don't fear it. CCTV beat it, really can't believe it. Yeah, we undefeated, winning on repeat, and that's why they wanna be here. I can tell you see it, I can tell you need it. While you waiting, sleeping, giving you a reason. Gotta take belief in, put it in your hands, and that's how you're gonna feel it. Jupiter spots going through on the instant. Community on that directory and mentions. Move with promise and you maximize ascension. So you can get on it if you're accruing attention. It's good for the ego cause it's good for the people cause it puts you in the seat to make it easier. It should be a free throw if you put it in gear up and repeat it like you're gonna preach these words. Welcome.jup.ag. Welcome.jup.ag. I tell them come to the main scene at welcome.jup.ag. Yeah, welcome.jup.ag. Welcome.jup.ag. I tell them come to the main scene. Solana's boom going crazy. Yeah.
That's my favorite part.
That's pretty good. Stop,
folks, if you haven't already checked out welcome.jup.ag, go check it out. The easiest way to get onboarded. What was that?
Some people calling it gay though.
Wait, say that one more time. Sorry. Turn down.
Some people saying it gay. Some people saying it's gay.
This, I like the song.
I love it. If it's damn gay, if this is gay, I'm gay, man. I love it.
Really massive approach. I think that. W's for Dr. Prebon on the visuals over here. This is on Spotify as well, if you want to listen to it there. And remember, if you have somebody in your life who's not yet onto the Solana train, go ahead and send them to look.jup.ag to get onboarded. All right. We have two more wins to cover real quick. The first one, Meteora is cooking over here, folks. This one is very exciting. Meteora is introducing a new type of vault ahead of the Uplock launch, which is going to be coming very soon. And this is quite cool, I think. Basically, they want to introduce a new kind of vault that allows people to be protected from sniper bots. Right? What happens when new tokens launch is that sniper bots are set up rhythmically just to buy it. Hello. Am I back? I'm back. Yes, fantastic. Sorry, that song I think was too banger. It broke my GPU, it seems, and ruined my internet. So I apologize for that. Thank you for welcoming me back, everybody. What I was saying over here before I was so rudely interrupted. Meteora is cooking up a new vault to protect everyday users from snipers. So typically when a new token launches, sniper bots are set up, they buy it right off the bat, and then they dump it on retail. This is not good. We do not like these kind of bots. So what Meteora is producing is a new type of vault where people can deposit USDC and buy the token before the sniper bots get into it. Now, there is a catch. So in order to be able to kind of get this up front, you will be locked for 7 days. So your tokens will be locked for 1 day, and then the vesting begins after that. It might not be exactly 7. Those details are still being figured out, but you'll be accessing the token before the bots do, getting hopefully a better price. You'll get the average of whatever the vault ends up buying, and those tokens will be fed to you over time over here. The main goal is pretty simple. Allow community members who are real and not bots to buy the token at the best possible price. This is all being done on Meteora's interface, by the way, so go check out meteora.ag to learn more here. Shout out to Ben and the Meteora team for putting this together and just trying to, make the world of token launches a little bit better for everyone in the community. This is an exciting one. And then the last win of the week, and this is what we're going to talk about for a lot of the rest of the call here, is the GUM initiative has officially kicked off. Meow is going to talk about this in some more detail. So I'm just going to say from my perspective at a very high level, the dream of finance for so long has been one single market because we know that liquidity begets liquidity. So the more liquidity you have and the easier it is to go across these different markets, the better these markets all function. And this is, quite frankly, impossible in traditional finance. Why? Because everything is so fragmented. You have all these gatekeepers and so many permissioned checkpoints before assets can get listed and kind of talk to each other. So you can never really get this kind of universal market in traditional finance. What I'm so excited about here, and as Meow's going to talk about the details again in a second here, but what I'm so excited about is that GUM represents something that is only possible in crypto, that truly takes full advantage of the permissionless, decentralized nature of the technology to create something that is radically new and can hopefully, in the long term, create a bunch of value for people all over the world. So I am very excited about this. Drop a little W in the chat if you are excited about GUM as well. And with that said, let me pass it over to Meow to actually take us through the giant unified market and what it is all about. Meow, what can you tell the people about the GUM initiative?
I mean, you covered it, right? I mean, the big idea behind GUM is quite simple, right? It's like, okay, what if we have one state machine, right, with all the assets, with highly liquid markets, and be accessible to anyone, like in a fraction of a cent, right? They can go from anything to anything, right? You can say you can buy anything with a meme coin, right? Or for example, you can actually deposit so and get something out, and there's you use to buy a car or something, right? So I feel like that's actually kind of like the pipe dream of finance, right? By having all these like markets and stuff all being all available and more importantly accessible to the user, right? It's like and I think that's actually the really big idea here, right? Is that if you can get enough assets, enough liquid in the markets and put them in a place that you can easily go from one to the other, that's actually where I think the big hot thing is. I think the other big thing here is that I think is that so far I think we have talked a lot about I think obviously crypto in the first generation of crypto, right? A lot of it is about like like Bitcoin and everything, right? And ETH and everything. And now we are starting to see a phase of obviously tremendous amount of like meme coins and just all these kind of assets being created as well, right? But sometimes there's always but I think there's this huge category, all right, of assets that we interact our daily. For example, like you stay in a house, right? You use fiat to buy things, right? You know what I'm saying, no? Right? Or for example, there are real stocks and there are stocks out there, right? So I think the whole point is how do we kind of like take the crypto assets and all these like new assets being created and all these like kind of like assets that touch our daily lives and mash that into like one network, right? So I think that's like something that I think is already like technically possible today, right? I mean, for example, Solana is already one single state machine, right? And Jupiter already kind of does a really good job, right? Just taking everything and putting it all together, right? So I feel like that, and so this GUM is the most like so GUM is the logical next step in that direction, right? So how do we kind of like bring on the best like? So it's actually GUM is very simple. We want to number one, bring on the very very best like asset providers in the space. Second of all, help like work with them to create like liquid markets, right? Third of all, integrate them to Jupiter, because when the assets get integrated to Jupiter, right, then the whole world can use it, right? That's actually a really big deal, because imagine you're selling apples, right? but you're selling apples in the middle of Siberia. Are you selling apples or not? You're not selling apples, right? You know, you might be offering apples, not selling apples, right? So I feel like that's actually one thing that's really important here, right? It's like, how do we so that's the whole gum. We want to work with the best asset providers, the best market makers, right? And integrate them in the best network, which is like, obviously like Jupiter X Solana, So yeah, that's the high level idea of things. Yeah. And I think if we succeed, and that's a big if, right? We don't know, right? But if we succeed, I think a crazy number of use cases can happen, right? It's like you'll be able to go to a new airport, right? And take out fiat, right? And with any coin you want. And all that will be handled by the backend, the decentralized system, right? So all the ATM does is like literally just like taking like just doing the fiat stuff, right? But then all the exchanging and stuff, all the value exchange happens right on decentralized networks. Yeah, so that's the way. So anyway, for Jupiter, our goal is to be the everything exchange, right? So that is like kind of the world to see, right? So I think so in essence, I think that's what GUM is about. GUM represents a world on the sea, a world where ending any token anywhere, right? For Jupiter, it's very important, right? Because it represents our goal to become kind of everything exchange, right? And also we think for Solana, it's a big deal as well, because if we get enough assets and markets and users on the Solana, it will become an extremely big like advantage, for the network as well. Yeah. So so really excited, and we have a bunch of guests here today from different like asset providers and market makers and stuff, right? And one of my favorite person in the world, Imran from Alliance. Yeah, so I think it'll be terrific to talk to them, hear them talk. Yeah.
Let's hear from them right now. So as mentioned, GUM I think it's a very ambitious thing to try to bring all assets in one place.
It's doable. I think the guys is doable, right? It's like, but we need a lot more, like we need more participants, we need more markets, we need a lot more incentives, and that's what GUM is about. GUM is about investing the requisite effort into making it happen. Yeah.
What I love about it, it's a classic growing the pie kind of thing, right? This is something that's, if it's good for Jupiter, but it's also good for Solana, it's also good for anyone who has assets or is creating markets, and anyone who else wants to use crypto. And speaking of somebody that's got some assets, what I want to do now is bring up the co-founder here of Villcaso, one of the members of the GUM Alliance. I'm very excited about this, right?
Because hello,
what's up, guys. Nice to see y'all.
What's going on? Nate, for anyone who does not know, has a very rich history doing a lot of things in this space. In his previous company, he did, I think, what did I write down here? $600 billion per year of mortgages being originated and underwritten and structured, which is something like $1.7 billion a day. So the man knows mortgages. The man knows real estate. Now he's bringing that expertise around real estate investing, asset securitization, and structuring to the crypto world. Please drop a little warm JM in the chat for the co-founder of Villcaso, Nate. Nate, how's it going?
Cash, I don't know if you can see this, but you're making me blush over here. It's very warm of you.
Listen, brother, you deserve all the credit in the world. That is pretty wild, and it's great to have kind of experienced subject matter experts with us in this crypto world. For people who don't know,
I know nothing about real estate, guys. I know nothing. I started to hear from you. I know nothing. Yeah.
We're here to help. We're here to help.
Pay the rent.
So, for anyone who doesn't know already, Nate, can you tell them a little bit about Villcaso and how it works?
Yeah, for sure. So, Villcaso is, in short, the easiest way to invest in U.S. real estate. Basically, when you buy a token from Villcaso, you're buying into an institutional grade fund. We tokenize the kind of assets that today only institutions need access to. We're talking about like $25 million minimum ticket size. And what we're doing is democratizing this access to everyone in a token that is permissionless, that is liquid, and frankly has a really awesome return profile as well.
Yeah, pretty incredible kind of numbers that are already happening over here. Do you mind sharing a little bit about how the underwriting process works for how you bring this real estate on chain?
It's really robust. So from my past relationships in mortgage, we are tokenizing an asset called a home equity investment, or HEI. You can think about this like a second mortgage on owner-occupied properties across the United States. It's basically like a preferred equity position on homes. So we don't have any sort of credit default risk with respect to the homeowners, because Villcaso and our token holders are literally, they have a claim over the underlying property price. It's a very powerful instrument. And so when we underwrite, primarily what we care about is that we're getting homes in the right neighborhoods in the right parts of the country, right? So no duds in this portfolio. We value our assets on a daily basis, which is really unique in this space. It's one of the powers of blockchain too. Right. So normally owning a real estate fund, you may get pricing updates once a quarter, sometimes even once a year. I mean, it's very opaque. But what we're doing, we're completely transparent about the assets that are backing every single one of these tokens. So people have real-time visibility into exactly what their holding is worth. It's a big game changer.
Gotta love transparency. Gotta love permissionlessness.
So daily, so it'll be updated based on the surrounding neighborhood prices updates. So.
Exactly. So we use something called automated valuation models, or AVMs. It's basically an algorithm.
I love acronyms. Yeah.
It's his favorite thing.
We ingest a whole bunch of data about surrounding property prices, changes in neighborhood dynamics, changes in interest rates, to spit out an estimate of every single property value. And of course, there's a true up when their home is either sold, refinanced, or whatever, and we get cash distributions that we can either send back to our investors or reinvest into new properties and grow the pie for everyone.
So how does a token price get updated? It's like, so do you have like many tokens for each different market or each different like asset? Like how would that work?
It's one of the nice things. It's a fungible token. So really, it's like you are buying into a fund, a diversified fund of real estate. So you don't need to be an expert in any kind of particular in the US.
How many funds would there be? Like, would it be one fund or like many funds? Yeah. We're
starting with just one fund. So we want to try to maximize diversity and simplicity for people. But of course, I think it's really natural where people, want to only invest, let's say in California properties, for example, or beach homes in Florida. We can do that as well.
Can you, I know some people maybe will be familiar with REITs, with real estate investment vehicles. Can you talk about the difference between Villcaso and REITs?
Yeah, well, the biggest difference is that most people around the world just can't get access to REITs. So if you're in America, sure, you can get access to American REITs, but we designed this product for international investors. So the kinds of people who today really struggle to get access to American real estate, either because it's too expensive, the maintenance costs are too high, or there are really nasty tax complications. We obfuscate all that stuff. We take care of all that complexity for you. So all you need to do is decide when you want to buy and sell into the real estate market, and that's it.
Pretty great. Nice and simple. By the way, I got to say, you have some nice backing here from what we might call a pretty decent firm. Shout out to Imran, who's looking away from the camera
One last question is that like, how does the price get rebalanced on chain? Is it based on Oracle price or how does that work?
Yeah, so Villcaso spits out a NAV price every single day. So this is the daily valuation that we do in the running of our assets. The behavior here of the token is sort of similar to a closed-end fund. In other words, we put out the NAV price. However, the market can trade around that NAV price as it wants. So Villcaso provides some liquidity to help encourage that rebalancing back to NAV. But ultimately, if people feel that US real estate or our valuation models are undervaluing the assets, there's no reason that the market can't force the token price to trade above NAV. And what we do on our side is we issue more tokens, and we use that to acquire more real estate in the fund to, again, benefit everyone who's already in the vehicle.
Got it. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
I see some people bringing up a comparison to Parcel here. Parcel is more of like a perps type thing. Here you own the underlying equity. Is that right?
Yeah, precisely. So when you're investing in Parcel, there's no real estate there. It's a synthetic instrument. So your capital isn't actually backed up by anything. Contrast with Villcaso, every single token is backed transparently by an entire portfolio of high quality US real estate. Yep.
So when Solana? When Jupiter?
That's the big question.
That's the big question.
When Jupiter? Come on, let's go. Where can I buy a Jupiter? Let's go. That's the main thing.
Later this summer. We're super pumped about, it aligns super well with our mission. So we wanted to democratize access to US real estate in a permissionless manner. And we can only do that with awesome distribution partners like Jupiter and with the GUM initiative. So we're pumped.
Yeah, so this is a great example of what we're trying to do with GUM, right? Yeah. We're trying to say, hey, how do we allow anyone in the world to access something that is pretty impossible to do, right? Otherwise, right? I mean, seriously, it's really impossible to do otherwise, right? And they don't have to go to like 20 different places to do it, right? They don't have to figure out things out. Just go to Jupiter, right? The place that you already know and love, Jupiter. I'm just saying Jupiter, but but the place you know and love, Jupiter, and so you just get it, right? I feel like that's awesome. Right, to be able to diversify from, say, okay, so you made some gain from meme coins, great. Now rotate to US real estate, right? That's pretty mind-blowing, right?
That's exactly it. So when you get your awesome gains elsewhere, you need to diversify that wealth. You don't want to go back to being poor. You got to pop in a safe view.
It'd be nice. That's a pipe dream.
What the fuck, bro?
Too real.
What the fuck? Yeah, okay, fine. Okay, I love it. Let's go.
Folks, obviously, you should do your own research here, but I think what's exciting about Villcaso.
NFA, guys, NFA.
Listen, I'm not trying to get sued. If you're a lawyer watching out this, if you're Gary Gensler, please, I'm just a humble host of the Planetary Call. Don't
NFA.
I would say what I think it is very exciting. I, like many others, have a lot of net worth on chain. It's hard to get that into real estate investments, but it is nice to diversify. I think Villcaso is very interesting. It'll be even more interesting when it is on Solana later this summer, you said?
That's right. We're really excited.
And so, Nate, if people want to learn more about Villcaso, what's the best way for them to get involved?
So follow our Twitter, just at Villcaso, really simple, Villcaso.
Nah, guys, don't follow until they're here. Social pressure.
You're holding the followers hostage, Nate. Yeah.
I'm joking. Follow them. W.
I just got there. I'll pop my handle in the chat as well. You guys can give me a shout, hit my DMs.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Nate, thanks so much for coming on, and thanks for being part of the
Thanks for teaching me so much. Yeah, we look forward to learning more. And when we launch, when you launch, you will do a proper video on over again. Okay, thank you.
I'm pumped. See you guys. Bye.
Thank you.
Cheers, man. All right, next up, we have another member of the GUM Alliance, the co-founder. Wait, let's do it here. This was the quote from Villcaso, the co-founder of Dinari. You heard Meow say it before, right? We need to go just beyond tokens on chain. We want to have every asset in one place. And if Jupiter is going to become the everything exchange, you need more RWAs. Things like equities, which is one of the most traded and biggest asset classes in the world. And fortunately, our next guest raised $7.5 million to build a decentralized stock trading platform and is going to be joining the GUM. Drop a little JM in the chat for Jake from Dinari. Jake, how's it going?
Great to be here, guys. And I love the vision. We started Dinari to create the global stock exchange and to bring both access and a lot of the innovation that we've all seen and love in decentralized finance to these assets that, they're the original meme trades, right? And just really run the gamut of a lot of different interests that people have in order to invest in brands that they know, in products, in commodities, and all of this variety from the traditional markets. And we're here bridging that gap, working with some of the constraints of the traditional markets, and then on the other side, tokenizing that and turning on these markets. So yeah, really glad to be here.
So yeah, Jake, nice to meet you again, man. How's it going?
Hey, yeah, good to see you, Meow.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, we met in New York previously. I was actually really impressed by what they were doing, right? So they gave me a full rundown how the whole thing works and everything. I thought it was really cool. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Jake, can you impress the rest of the audience as well? Tell them, how do you actually do this?
Yeah, how do we do it? Yeah, great question. So we've automated the process of issuance. Right now, we take orders in stablecoin, USDC, USDT. Those hit our orders. We have a order structure on chain that supports both market and limit style orders. And then we will go when the US markets are open, we will fill those right away. And then our automated process verifies that those are in our accounts, and then we'll mint those tokens out. So end to end, we have verification of the one-to-one backing. And this is very important. We don't want to have a moment where someone could exploit the system to kind of inflate the value of these tokens. So always verified, always one-to-one backed. We're also working with external audit partners to do that. There are also other constraints, and these are questions we get all the time. Dividends, splits. A lot of this complexity is a part of why our base token is rebasing for all of our assets. It's also important to point out that it's one token per listing. It's what you would expect. If you want to buy Apple stock, you're going to get a Apple token. But we rebase.
Is it one for one? Is that one for one? Like one Apple token?
It's one for one. And that's why they have to be rebasing, because the traditional stock market is rebasing. That's just the way it is. So we do that. And then we also wrap them to be composable with DeFi and lending and all that good stuff.
For anyone who's not familiar, Jake, do you mind just explaining how rebasing works and what that is?
Yeah, rebasing is when if you hold one token in your wallet and there's a split, for example, the value is so high, the company decides they want to go, it's trading at 1,000. they wanted to trade at 500. What they'll do is they'll work with the clearinghouses and all the record keeping services to say everyone in the whole world that owns one of these is now going to own 2, and we're going to cut the price in half. So the overall value of your assets stays the same, right? But what you'll see in your wallet or in your account is that token goes from 1 to 2, or from 4.5 to 9, right? So that is something that we have to account for if we want this system to be sustainable in the long run and continue to accrue the value that's handed out to the traditional market.
Very cool. I'm also seeing here that you guys are registered with the SEC as a transfer agent. That is no small feat.
We are a U.S. company. We are SEC registered transfer agent. We also are working with that license to be able to work with companies that want to take some of their shares and put them on chain. Do kind of it's not an official IPO, but if you are a company and you want to get public investors in from around the world through tokenization, we're licensed to do that, to work that with you.
That might be interesting for something else that's cooking on the Jupiter side. So this is great. So you have something, what is this, like 30-ish, maybe more than that? Yeah,
somewhere around 40 right now. Yeah, more every month. We kind of do sometimes a theme batch, sometimes requests from distribution partners in a kind of a collaboration. So it really is a large part community driven at this point.
What kind of traction have you guys seen?
Our traction in large part comes really 2 major user groups. And I think you touched on a couple of these. One are people who have a lot of their net worth on chain right now, and they want to diversify. So, I have an ETH validator that likes to buy SPY, for example. I have some other whales that come in that bought Coinbase a couple of months ago, to kind of continue to invest in the crypto ecosystem for things that are publicly traded in the traditional markets. Another category are really, opening up global access to places like Latin America, Africa, Southeast Asia. And these are smaller trades. This is, $10, $15, maybe $100. Maybe someone's going to put some of their savings in for a 2K order. And that's where we've seen really the steady growth. The whales come in and they give us a huge bump. But it's nice to see kind of a steady increase in just retail, which I mean,
on the point, a few things, right? I think that is actually what I'm the most excited about, right? In this regard, right? It's like, to put it another way, right? It's like the whale, if they wanted to, they can actually do this, right? Do this if they wanted to, right? On another market, right? But it's a whole different ballgame, right? When you go like, okay, someone somewhere in a village and stuff, right? Not in a big place, can go, I like Apple. Right, let me buy some Apple. Right, let me say or let me rotate some palm fund into this Apple. Right,
yeah, right, absolutely.
That's actually amazing, right? Because like that is the world we want to see, right? Because that's the whole point of this like global this whole giant market, right? It's like it's to kind of really take the barrier and the cost of transactions so low, right? Across like both the logistical costs, the regulatory costs, and also the access cost, like the cognitive cost to be so low, right? That anyone can kind of diversify to anything they want, right? With minimal kind of like time and issue.
Yeah.
And sorry,
it's so seamless once you get to that point.
Yeah, precisely, right? So I think that actually brings the next question: when Jupiter? Like when
Meow's got one thing on the brain.
When Jupiter, when can I buy Jupiter? Let's go. When? Faster.
So we're super busy, like right today. I'm looking, end of summer. I think we can drop in after. Right now we're doing a big upgrade to our orders, make them much more efficient, and then we'll go.
Got it. But end of summer is too late, man. When? I'm just joking. Yeah. But this is super cool, right? I think this is the kind of thing that we want to educate people about earlier, right? So it's like I feel like the more we have the time to and that's why we are kind of starting this initiative now, right? To kind of like really get more people into get both the community members and also like yourself to kind of like get familiar with the whole process, right? So ideally maybe even like months before you guys come here, right, there's actually a lot of familiarity, you know, about how you guys work and everything and stuff. That'd be
Absolutely. Yeah, we want to absolutely be very open about how we work, get familiar with everyone. Yeah, answer any questions, 100%.
Yeah, because I feel like for this kind of stuff, I mean, I'm telling you, man. So one of the things I did was WBTC, right? Like wrap BTC, and for anything that is like wrapped, right? There's always this like period whereby you have to kind of get comfortable, you know, with kind of how the thing works, how the mechanism works, and everything, right? Yeah. So anyway, yeah, just super pumped to have you on. But if you guys one last thing, you guys read the history of like stock exchanges, man. The first few were the fucking meme coins, man. Right? There's so many. Many. I strongly encourage everyone to read the history of stock exchanges. These fucking meme coins all the way, you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Awesome.
Excellent.
Cool.
So Jake, if people do want to get more, oh sorry, what was that, Meow?
No, I'm done. I'm good. Yeah.
So Jake, if people do want to learn more about Dinari, maybe get involved in the community, where is the best place for them to go?
Yeah. So on Twitter, we're at Dinari Global. You can find us there, and or drop into our Discord. We have people chatting, and yeah.
Excellent. Well, Jake, thanks so much for coming out, man.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much. Good to see you again.
Excited for the summer to come soon. And rumor has it, if you just spam Jake's mentions at Jake_Timothy with when, he might come even sooner. This is just what the rumors are saying. I don't know. We'll find out.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Engagement breeds engagement.
Come on, man. You're great. Let's go. We're doing this. Yeah.
We're ready.
Let millions of people buy stuff. You know. Let's go.
Let's go.
Come. Let's go.
Cool.
It's time.
All right. Excuse me. Our third GUM Alliance member coming up today is, let me bring
my
him up.
man, Paul.
He is the man, Paul. He's the head of business development over at Cumberland. Cumberland has been doing market making in crypto since 2014. Back when I didn't even know really crypto.
Baby, you were baby. You were baby when Paul was a man. You were still baby.
Going
you
on.
Now he's a legend. Who are you?
I'm still just a humble host. This is all I do. But Cumberland they're legends in the space. If you've been a part of crypto for a little while, you would have heard their name. They do market making across more than 50 different assets. They're one of the most reputable firms in the business, and it's a pleasure. I mean, when you want folks for the GUM Alliance, you want the best of the best. And that, I think, is what Cumberland represents. So drop a little jam in the chat here for Paul. Paul, for people who are not familiar already with Cumberland, can you give them a quick intro?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, thank you for that awesome introduction. Cumberland is a liquidity provider across a variety of crypto assets, both on exchange and OTC. I think OTC is probably what we're best known for. And like you mentioned, this is actually our 10-year anniversary, which is a long time in crypto years. So we've been doing this for a long time, and one of the reasons that I wanted to be part of this, the GUM effort, and Meow kind of just corralled me and grabbed me and said, "You got to be a part of this."
Yeah, I did. I did. I totally did. I was like, "Grab me, let's go."
He's like, "You got to do this, man." I am a nerd about stablecoins. There's a lot of things in crypto to be excited about. There's a lot of things that you could care about, and I chose probably the most boring, most like vanilla infrastructure thing of all of crypto, and it's stablecoins. And I am calling to you right now. You can see in the back, it's pretty dark outside. I'm in Singapore right now. I've lived in Singapore for about 9-10 years now, and I get my salary in Singapore dollars, and my expenses are all in Singapore dollars. But if I want to participate in crypto, the very first thing I have to do is I have to convert my Singapore dollars into USDC, into USDT, into PYUSD, whatever. I have to convert it into a dollar stablecoin. That's because right now 99% of all stablecoins are dollar stablecoins, and this has just always seemed wrong to me. So we came out with a paper last year. I can drop the link in it into the chat. Basically, like exploring like why is this? Why are 99% of all stablecoins dollar stablecoins? Like where are the euros? Where are the pound sterling? Where are the Swiss francs? Where are the Singapore dollars? Where are the Hong Kong dollars, etc. And so we came out with this paper. We looked into it, and we realized that like it's coming. Like it's just not here yet, but it's coming. And after writing this paper, we had this really great opportunity to work with some fantastic companies because they all reached out to us and they said, "We read this paper, like let's get involved." And so at this point, Cumberland is now working with a lot of different issuers of non-dollar stablecoin current that are out there. And it's really exciting. Yeah.
fun fact, I read this paper and I that was what hooked me to Paul. I'm like, dude, we gotta do this, you know. I read it too.
I'm glad someone read it. Because right now I see it's pretty long.
It's so obvious. It's like I feel like once you understand how once you understand how traditional forex markets works, and once you understand how fucked the whole system is, you're like, holy shit! If you just bring 1% or even 0.1% of the forex right on chain, 0.1%, right, the whole thing fucking changes for retail everywhere. You know, I think if you just see that, then you're fucking amazing. It's also once you see that world, right, you can't unsee it. You know, yeah. For me,
yeah, I mean it's that's a big number. That might not even be a real number. I don't know if quadrillion.
It's not real.
I don't think that's real.
It's like $2 trillion in crypto. It's not real. It's fine.
Look, and normally in crypto, when we say things like, oh, if we can just bring 1% of this market over, normally it's like, yeah, but you can't, right?
Yeah.
In the case of FX, like FX is a market that would just get so many benefits of on-chain. It's not like, okay, everything's going fine, maybe we can pull 1% into crypto and benefit. It's actually like, it's a really clunky market. Settlement is T+2. Right now I'm trying to buy a house, so I have to like move money from my Singapore account into my Interactive Brokers account to turn it into New Zealand dollars. And then if I want to send it over to my wife's account, I got to like, it's a mess. It's a pain. And I'm like, man, I should be able to do this on a DEX. And then when it comes to like seeding liquidity, because this is something that we have a lot of experience with, is like helping teams, particularly stablecoins, come up with their liquidity roadmaps. When you're looking at other chains, you know, in particular Ethereum mainnet, you really have to make sure that liquidity is everywhere you want it. You have to make sure that you're Uniswap. You have to make sure you're on Curve. You have to make sure that you're on like a whole bunch of different places. What I love about, and this is like, this is why we're friends, this is why we're working together, is because with Jupiter, like all you need to do is put the liquidity in one spot. So if you have a Euro stablecoin, like you just make sure that there is one market, and then anyone can show up onto Jupiter with their Euro stablecoins. And if they want to swap it into Bonk, or they want to swap it into, Sol, whatever they want to swap it to, they don't even know how it's bouncing around. But you just like, we're game planning this stuff, and we're like, oh, there's actually not much work. We just need to make sure that there's one good market, and then like Jupiter will take care of the rest. Meow and I were talking earlier today, like, right now, if I want to go and buy my breakfast, like I have to have Singapore dollars, like fiat Singapore dollars. If I can do that on chain, not only do I can say, okay, now I have a Singapore dollar stablecoin, like that's cool. But if I've got a payment app that is like built in and is integrated with something like Jupiter, I can go to, the chicken rice place. I can say, I want to buy breakfast, and I've got Bonk on my account. And I just like scan the little QR code, and it converts my Bonk into the Singapore dollar stablecoin and gives it to the guys on the chicken rice. And then on his end, it converts it into Singapore dollars. And he doesn't know that like I just parted with some Bonk in order to get my chicken rice. He's just like, cool, I've got dollars, I can go about my day. So listen, is this like the most exciting, the sexiest part of crypto? Probably not, but it's such a huge market. And if we can get this happening, if we can make this happen.
I think it's so exciting though, because
I think it's kind of nice.
I think it's so exciting because I feel like it's actually, to me, the one to see, right? Because I feel like don't get me wrong, I love everything that's happening right now, right? I mean, I love JUP, right? I love everything, right? But like we need to actually kind of like immerse, intermesh our like crypto, everything we do daily, right? You know what I'm saying? I think that's actually where I think adoption begins. Actually, I feel like that, and then I feel like when the world starts to remit dollars to when the world starts to remit in using decentralized systems, right? When the world starts to pay in decentralized systems, right? When you can just take a loan when just like not even sell bonk, just take a loan in a bonk, right? Just press a button. You don't sell bonk, just take a loan in a bonk and pay on rights. Fucking A, right? One and it takes 0.02 cents. I'm not kidding. You can do the whole transaction in like 0.02 cents, right? In 3 seconds, right? I'm very, very serious here, right? It's like, it's crazy. You can even take a loan. You can take a bonk, take a loan, pull it out, convert it to Singapore, convert it through route through 5 different markets, and the guy gets Singapore dollars, right? And you just took a loan, routed through 5 different markets and stuff, and 2 different forexes to get a thing, right? People don't even know. Who cares, right? I feel like that is the world on the sea, right? Yeah, that's the world on the sea, And I feel like I'm not bragging here, but I really feel like like between Solana and Jupiter, and we bring on like awesome people like you, right? And then like to help do this thing. This could become reality, you know. I feel like we can get there. I feel like when we get there, the world is going to be like, oh, crypto is useful. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, it's not a scam. Who would have guessed? Yeah.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, if we get there, crypto is actually useful. Wow, holy shit, right?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
I think the beauty of the idea is that it can kind of fade into the background as well, right? This becomes just like the invisible scaffolding of how people live their everyday lives is what's truly exciting here. And I think that Cumberland as a market maker is going to help participate in this future. Can you say anything about the kind of contributions you guys will be making towards the GUM Alliance here?
Yeah, so I mean, you know, for a lot of these people, a lot of the guys you're saying like when Solana, when is it coming on live? We're kind of already there, right? Some of the stable coins, and unfortunately I can't like say the proper nouns, but some of the stable coins that we're already working with, they're already out there. They're on Solana. And if you go to Jupiter and those are the stable coins that are in your wallet and you want to buy something, like it's already happening and it's already there. And it's going to keep on happening. Currently, we're working with stable coins of 9 different underlying currencies. So that's not 9 stable coins, but that's 9 different underlyings. That's like dollar,
Amazing.
euro, CAD, Aussie dollar, all of that. And that number is only going to grow. I really want to be doing like the more exciting currencies, like the ones, you know, I look in the comment section here and I'm seeing like greetings from South Africa, like greetings from Turkey, greetings from the Philippines. Like these are the currencies.
Turkey will be huge.
Turkey will be huge. It's a massive market and very crypto native. So like, I want this to be happening. I see someone just commented GBP. We're already working with a pound sterling stablecoin. It's on Solana, so it's already there. So a lot of this stuff is already there. It's already happening.
Yeah. So the thing is that more adoption. So we should do something on that. We should drive some. We should do a push on that. We should do a push on that. Yeah. Let's try to align the stars and stuff to both let's maybe wait for 2 or 3 more to come online, right? You know, and then we consolidate everything. We make a big push for it. You know what I'm saying? On the marketing front, and also on the adoption front. Let's do it.
Absolutely. It's gonna enable payments.
Let's do it.
It's also like all of a sudden we're not just a crypto trading platform, but you're an FX platform as well. Like
yeah, precisely. It's amazing, right? Because like you really, I mean, back it's like with Dinari and also Villcaso, right? Like you really become a lot more than I feel like there's a step function difference. You know, when you take when you take things and put them in a network like Solana and Jupiter, there's a step function difference, right? People don't see that. It's like it's almost kind of like from ice to water. Yes, it's still the same molecules, right? You know, but the fact that it's like, but when ice and water, the form changes, right? It can do so much more, right? You know, right? You know, yeah. I feel like I think it's honestly, you know, like for example, ice can't flow through pipes, right? But water can, you know, and that's actually kind of how you can think about it, you know. Yeah.
Ooh, nice metaphor there, Meow. New metaphor just dropped.
Yay, new metaphor.
There we go.
Let's go, metaphors. Let's go.
All right. Well, Paul, if people want to learn a little bit more about Cumberland, any place that you want them to go? Go check out that paper. That on-chain FX paper is a good starting point.
Paper, watch it. Yeah,
check out the paper. I'll drop it in the comment section. You can also find us on Twitter. On X at Cumberland Says.
Twitter.
We've been there for a while.
Yeah.
Twitter forever. Twitter in my heart. Twitter in my heart. Cumberland in my heart. Paul in my heart. Thanks for coming on.
Oh,
great to have you part of it.
Thank you, Paul. Thanks for coming on. Thank you.
Excellent. So those were just 3 of the 10 members of the GUM Alliance. We actually have another one coming up later in a separate section in the partner spotlight. So make sure to stick around as we go through that. But before we do, it is now time for some working group updates. And one of the latest trial working groups is already back on the call with some things to share. So please drop another little JM in the chat here. Where is my guy, Sirnaynay, core contributor to the web working group? How's it going, Nene?
Good. How are you, Cash? It's a pleasure to be on.
Oh, it's another day in paradise, my friend. I know that you have been hard at work, obviously through some of the public co-working sessions and other things. What can you tell the people about what the web working group has been up to lately?
That's a great question. We have been up to quite a lot, actually. So we've been hard at work on Station. Thanks, Hanko. We've been hard at work on Station. We have made a lot of changes. So, sorry, there are some broken links on JUP AG, so you will see that the team is on them. But so we've removed some of the navigation tabs that were unnecessary. So now we have just a few navigation tabs, and we will be adding on more. So we have also what do you call it? So that was like JUP, like the JUP Labs start and blog. So on all of the if you go to the guides or like the docs, all of the sidebars, they're now collapsed. So you don't have this huge list of things there that's overwhelming. Just some small changes for usability's sake. So we actually went through all of the content here, proofread it, checked it for factuality, and that was a large undertaking. So we added video clips to the API documentation, which was very nice. I think that'll help some people who are visual learners rather than so yeah, that was a nice add. Yeah, and then we had Hanko go through and add SEO to all of the pages. So these pages should be more search engine friendly. Yes, Hanko, meta tags. So the goal there is that when you're searching for API documentation, it'll make things easier to find. You can answer structured questions for Google and basically pop up first, because we want users to come to Station for all of their API needs. Well, really, all of their Jupyter needs. So that is just
that's a big undertaking in itself. There was a lot of detritus over on the Jupyter space station, so it's good to see some of that cleaned up. Better API documentation, but that's not all. There's some other things you guys have been cooking as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, there is. So really quickly, we did put out a post on Station that kind of details this in depth. So if you want to look at that and completely understand what we did, that is there, and it has a link to our GitHub commit, so you can see everything that's going on. There is a new PR that we did push out. Hopefully it'll be merged soon. That has some nice updates as well, so I'm looking forward to that. Yeah. So yeah, as you can see, it was a lot of things there. So one of our other updates is JUP Eco is now live in its V2 version on Webflow, which is very nice to see.
Woo! Got a little facelift over on JUP Eco, huh?
That we did. So a lot of this work couldn't have been done without the help of Kimosabi. We were pretty much completely focused on Station, so he helped make sure that all of this got pushed through. So we have a lot of useful information there. We have an acronym glossary because Meow loves his acronym so much.
Essential. Most valuable page on the internet right now.
Where's
PPP?
PPP?
There's, there.
Hank,
Thank
get
God.
those.
Yeah.
So yeah, we added that because there's a whole bunch of acronyms here, and you just can't keep track of them all. We have our FAQ, which is searchable. So just be advised that all of this is still under development. This is not the final form. We're still putting work into this, and again, it's our secondary focus right now, as Station is primary. So, but I think it looks pretty nice.
I gotta say, I might have to agree, and I really love this little module as well for feedback directly to the work groups. On
yeah, looks pretty awesome. Like it'll be really great to kind of have a more focused session, just go through this thing, and then with the community, I think it'll be fun.
Awesome. Yeah, I'd love to do that. And one of the other interesting things we put on there, other interesting things we put on there was the events tab.
Yes.
So you can see all of these events come off the calendar and get them sent to like your iOS, your Outlook, your Gmail, however you want to do that. So it's a really nice addition if you're not involved in Discord all the time. Yeah.
I think that's gonna make life easier for a lot of folks. We just got to get all the events up here.
Is there? I mean, we should cover this in different co-working session, but it'll be good to have like one global calendar that everyone can just add to, and then it just like it's like everyone can just add to it. It just like goes out to everywhere, including on Reddit. Because we have a lot of places now. We have Reddit, we have Twitter, we have Discord, we have this thing, everything. So it'd be great if like like certain people, all the working groups, like all the working groups have access to the calendar, one calendar, right? You know, so can do that? Can you have a calendar that all the working groups can add stuff to, and then that calendar like syndicates, you know, to everything. Yeah.
Sure, we'll have to coordinate that with the working groups, and I'm sure we can get that done. And then I had one final announcement. So we added another core contributor. So for a list, we have Blue Zenith, we have Hi, I'm Tim, and our new core contributor, which is Jack Guy. Jack Guy is awesome. He makes dashboards that show off analytics for votes and stuff. So we're looking forward to using him for analyzing data inside of Jupiter.
Oh, fun.
Very
fun.
cool.
Okay.
Web working group is growing and putting some things out there. So folks, if you have ideas, if you have feedback, go over to jup.eco. You can send that feedback there. Of course, you can find these guys in the Discord basically 24/7.
Yeah, they do a lot of co-working. One thing to say is that I think for people who are not very sure, working groups they work in public, right? And working in public is different from working alone, right? Working alone is just do everything, right? Working in public is very different. They have to talk to you, talk to me, talk to everyone, talk to here, talk to B and stuff. So everyone's feedback kind of matters and stuff, right? My feedback matters, your feedback matters and stuff. So they have to take all that feedback and make it work. It's fucking hard, guys. I'm telling you, it's fine. No, but I'm just saying, you know, yeah.
How does it compare to your expectations, Nene?
What, working in public? It's about what I expected. I actually really enjoy it. It's while it is hard and it's unusual, that's kind of the point of why we're a working group, is so that everybody's feedback can be implemented and make something that's much better than just what I could come up with or what another person on my team could come up with. So I really, really think it's a great thing.
I think it's great. Like for me, like I can tell you one thing, like JUP Station, I've been trying to work on it for a long time. I couldn't get it done. You know, I kind of have some sense of what needs to be done, but I lacked the input, right, from the community, right? You know, so I think it was like just helpful, yeah. And another thing that's so nice, I think you probably also need to have someone who is very, very comfortable with developer documentation, right? Developer doc. So that's one thing that's actually one probably really major addition to add as well. You know,
yeah, I completely agree with you.
Because right now I feel like it's very a bit overloaded on like the community update stuff, but not the overload that we probably need a bit more and stuff on the dev documentation side of things. Yeah. Hey, by the way, guys, if you're watching this is working in public. This is working in public. You know, he's showing stuff. We're talking about things and we're brainstorming. You know, obviously we can't spend too much time here, but this is what we're doing. Okay, and yeah, so feel free to be part of like the system, you know? Yeah.
So really quick, Meow. Sorry, Cash. So there was a pretty nice breakthrough in that. There's a guy in Discord called Notorious Pyro who helped me completely redo the payments API page, which will be done in this PR. So whenever it's merged, it'll be there.
That's a banger.
I'm very happy about that.
Yeah, that's a banger. Awesome. Yeah.
There we go. Well, if you have ideas, again, for the web working group, like, please do get involved. Go to their co-working sessions. Go post on their thread over on the JUP research forums. Let them know. Use the feedback module on the website. There's no limitation on the number of ways that you can get involved here, folks. And that's what we would love to see. Drop a little J for J for the trial working group. The web working group put in some work over here as well. And Nene, thank you so much for coming
Thank you.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Thank you so much.
Cheers, buddy. All right. Well, it looks like I am definitely going to win the bet as far as the over-under on this call. So shout out to me for knowing that we would go long. Sorry, Mia. The dedication in your eyes did not bring us under an hour. Folks, don't go anywhere. We still have partner spotlights.
It's so much fun. Cash, it's so much fun. It's so much fun talking to people. It's so much fun, man.
Brother, I'll make these 4 hours each. If be careful. You know, like we'll do this every day for 4 hours coming up soon. But we can't do that because the voting is going to start in just about 30 minutes and people need to go get informed on the vote. So as a reminder, voting starts at 5 p.m. UTC. Tomorrow, there is going to be a Twitter town hall with this guy that maybe you've known, maybe you like him, maybe you don't. His name is Meow, and the CFG are going to be talking about LFG round 3, 4 a.m. UTC, and then the weekly CWG office hours are coming up as well. Meow did not like that joke. He has now officially left the call, but hopefully he'll be back pretty soon. So, folks, like I said, we have the partner spotlight coming up and then Catdets Corner as well. Let's get into the partner spotlight. Two just banger partners to talk about today. The first one is no stranger to the Solana ecosystem. If you've been in the Solana ecosystem for a while, you already know them. You already know Switchboard. They power a bunch of DeFi protocols out there. Drop a little JM for the man with the fancy glasses, Mitch, the co-founder and CTO of Switchboard. Mitch, how you doing?
Gosh, how's it going? And I just discovered this feature that it says it makes my appearance look cleaner. Do I look?
You don't need that.
Fabulous?
You
Oh,
don't need that.
You're flattering.
For folks who don't know, can you tell them a little bit about Switchboard and what you guys do?
Yeah, so Switchboard is a permissionless oracle on Solana. We power a lot of the DeFi ecosystem on Solana because of a few mechanisms we support. Really, it's because we support customizable oracles and we are completely transparent in the information we bring on chain. So really, you can go on Switchboard and become an oracle platform. You can build your oracle, say you want it to run a certain amount of time, and you can fire it off and make any markets around any asset you want, on-chain or off-chain. It's a really flexible system, and you don't have to wait for any other provider to bring this data on-chain for you. And we have some new products coming out that I can talk about during this talk.
Very cool. Well, I mean, let's hear about all of them.
Let's
So
dive right into it.
let's hear about the LST fair pricing. I think that's obviously LSTs are the talk of the town right now with Sanctum and everybody else. What are you guys doing on the LST side?
So when you think about LSTs and you think about oracles around them, there's two prices really. There's the market price, and then there's the actual redeemable price. And when you're making an oracle, how do you have one oracle that represents that asset? And what's the fairest price? Usually it's going to be the redeemable price, because no matter what, if the market goes below that price, you can still recover it for that. So you got to be very careful for the different types of personas using a data feed. So is there the persona that's trying to arb or trade, or is it a persona that actually wants to know the fair value price? So you need an oracle for both of those things to actually propagate fair information for the user and actually calculate risk for protocols. And we're actually helping a Jupiter out. I actually gave Soju a data feed recently on Switchboard for the JUP Sol feed to get fair prices from Sanctum on chain. And Meow was gracious enough to sponsor that feed and lock it for the community to use as a JUP Sol Switchboard oracle.
Did I? Okay, awesome.
You did. You did.
Okay.
Via Soju.
Hey, W.
That's awesome. Shout out to the lady killer Soju.
Yeah,
as well.
so many things happen these days that people tell me, thank you. I'm like, what? Oh, that, okay, sure.
Yeah. Exactly.
But I think that's pretty powerful, especially for JUP Sol. Shout out to JUP Sol. And then you have an on-demand feature here as well with just-in-time oracles.
Exactly. So we're trying to recreate how people make these permissionless oracles, because if you want to make something for a long tail asset, you don't necessarily want it updating every 5 seconds, although you want high fidelity data. So what do you really want? You want it to update when somebody's consuming the data. So what we do is a lot of oracles are moving to the pool model where they have their own data layer. They're constantly streaming the data into some data layer or data platform. When you're making something permissionless, you can't have the whole world of data always coming in. So what we do is we have a just-in-time data fetcher. So when somebody wants to use a data feed, it will go to the Switchboard network, see what they need, and fetch it right then to bring on chain for all of it to be signed and be used on chain. And this way, we can support any asset at no cost to the person making an oracle. So it's essentially free to make an oracle, and the charge comes for how much it gets used. So this is actually fantastic for the GUM initiative because you can support a widest range of RWAs, LSTs, any type of asset you want, and not even have to be charged for the oracle until it gets used.
Pretty incredible stuff, folks. If you are a builder building things on chain and you need an oracle, or maybe you just want to get into the oracle game, definitely recommend it. Checking out Switchboard. Anything else that you guys are doing as far as Jupiter or the GUM initiative goes?
Well, we're supporting them with all the data now. Hopefully with all of it.
Yeah,
we'll see how far we go.
I think the powerful thing here is to understand that like most oracles are on-chain oracles, right? Instead that they require, it's actually really expensive to push data on chain, right? Even on Solana or Sui or anything, right? So I feel like and actually as you can tell, like the one thing that connects the world off-chain world and the on-chain world, right? It's either the asset, the one on backing, but crucially the data, right? Because so for example, it's like because data is actually really important for pricing purposes, right? And like either and the data can come in the form of like either pricing or liquidity or timing. So there's actually a large number of things that actually would require, right, some level of connection to the real world, right? And I think having that model here, having a much more flexible model here that is much cheaper and more flexible than having to plug everything on chain. I think that's pretty powerful. Yeah.
Yeah, and also just insights and how
It's a
it's
good
being
pitch,
derived.
bro. It's a good pitch.
Yeah, that is my pitch. I'll use that as my elevator pitch next time. Exactly. Or do you want to job me out?
Yeah, sure. Let's go.
We might have an opening.
Hiring.
Yeah,
Live posting
exactly.
Meow.
Yeah, there you go.
There'll be riots in the streets. But indeed, these markets don't work without high quality data. And Switchboard, it's awesome to have you guys as a part of the initiative to help support things and make sure that these markets are accurate at all times for all assets. If people want to learn more about Switchboard, Mitch, where should they go?
Switchboard.xyz, and just search us on Twitter. Find us on Telegram, and my DMs are always open. I love to help people. I used to be a teacher, and I would like to give one-on-ones. And I'm actually doing office hours next month or so for getting onto Switchboard on demand, so you can save all your costs for using Switchboard.
Love to hear it. Go follow Dr. Blocks, folks. I've been a long-time follower. Mitch, thanks so much for coming out, brother.
No problem.
Cheers, man. All right, we have one more partner to spotlight here, and he is a very exciting one. He's been patiently waiting. I told him it'd be about 30 to 45 minutes into the call. We're now an hour and 10 minutes into the call, and he's just coming on. But thankfully, the man has the stamina of whatever the highest stamina animal is. He is the co-founder of what is just the premier crypto accelerator in the world, one of the biggest founder networks in the world. You saw that they backed some of the projects that have already been on this call. It's been around forever. Drop a little JM in the chat for Imran from Alliance DAO. How's it going, brother? You are muted just yet. After waiting for an hour and 10 minutes, that's what happens.
Imran, guys, so I had to interrupt real quick. Imran is my fucking favorite person in the world. Okay, man. All right, my fucking favorite. Cash, sorry, you.
Top liberal
sorry,
over
you're
here.
second. Sorry, man, you're second. Sorry, Imran is
That's
my
understandable.
fucking favorite person in the world. And whoever is recording this thing, make sure we include the crew because Imran is a fucking favorite person in the world. I think Imran is like super supportive. I think through my whole crypto journey, I think like Imran's always been there, right? Up, down, left, right, always there, always like super great advice, like super great feedback. If I'm feeling shitty, I'll call him. He always gives me like great advice and stuff, right? So beyond the crypto stuff, right? I mean, like beyond Imran, just awesome, right? That's it. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, that's my intro.
Thank you. I feel like I don't really give good advice. It's just being there is probably more.
I mean, that's half the thing, right? Yeah, seriously.
I mean, I think there's dozens of founders that would disagree with that. The advice is pretty valuable. For folks who don't know, can you tell them a little bit about Alliance DAO, what you guys have been up to?
The best.
We're a crypto accelerator program. Our goal is to find new edges that are discovered, and we try to incubate. So some of the startups that have come through our program that I'll mention is like Tensor, Camino, Pump, Fantasy are some of the more trendier ones. But we've been doing this for about 5 years now. We've had over 175 startups that have gone through our program. So if you go on alliance.xyz, you see some of our startups. Some of the startup spotlight, I watched both of the videos earlier today. Dinari and Villcaso are both a part of Alliance's last batch. We have a pretty big thesis around RWAs. And we believe that RWAs are actually next in line in terms of where the trend's going. And which actually aligns a lot with where Jupiter's going, which I'm really, really excited about. I'll touch on a couple things. One is the GUM Alliance, which I don't think anyone in the space, any of the competitors that I see in the space is actually working on. And I'll touch a bit on that. But then number two, which I think it's an understated area that I think is going to become a very prominent part of where the future is going to be, which is mobile. With the acquisition of the wallet, and you're doubling down on the Jupiter mobile experience. I do think that is one way of bringing millions of people into crypto, having a native experience where you can trade any asset at any point, anywhere. Even if you look at kind of like the Phantom in the App Store, right? It's like number 7 or something, or it's like top one. It's number 1 in utilities, and it's like in the 50s, 60s. And I'd probably say like 50%, and I'm being very conservative here, but like 50% of people that are downloading Phantom are primarily because of Jupiter, right? And so if you think about what people want globally, they want to be able to trade assets permissionlessly. They want access to all of these assets. So right now we can talk about meme coins as one, but I think some of the most important assets is like securities, like on-chain securities. If you look at like Southeast Asia or Middle East, the number one asset that they want because they can't trade interest is S&P 500. And so,
really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I kept talking, but I could keep going.
No, please.
Yeah.
No,
And so like for the average person in those types of like emerging countries, they don't have access to, American securities like equities, right? And so the ultra wealthy class will have to get their own like financial brokers, and they get, permission access to some of these assets. But imagine being able to open this up permissionlessly via Jupiter. Anyone could be able to trade Coinbase stock, as an example, which I think is a huge unlock for the global markets. If you look at Nigeria, if you go on the App Store, you could see the number one app is Phantom, and number 5 is Soulflare. It's clear that people want to trade shitcoins today, but when they start, they often look like toys, and toys today are memes, right? But eventually, these turn into like real world assets that people could trade on chain.
I mean, it's a really big deal, right? Because all these things, that's the whole point of the gum thing, right? All these things become one thing, one market, right? It's like what traditionally is like CME, like CME or like commodities or like Nasdaq or and everything, right? They become all one thing, right? Like where and you can kind of rotate. We're just talking about earlier, right? It's actually really fun to be able to rotate your pump profits, right, into real estate, US real estate, right? It's actually it's a real game changer, or in turn rotate it to like S&P 500, right? I feel like that's actually the one thing that people don't quite understand. It's like when all these assets, right, gets brought on chain, and importantly in a single network and transactable and easily, right, like on Jupiter, right? It's not just a change in location. It's a change in step function, right? When someone in Indonesia or like Kenya can just buy something using anything in like 0.002 cents instantly.
A fraction.
And UX.
You don't even need to buy a whole share. You could buy a fraction of a share.
Precisely. You can use a fraction of bong to buy a fraction of a share.
Yeah.
It's crazy, right? Yeah. And the same UI, that's not you don't need to register for a new stock exchange. You need to register anywhere, right? It's all in one fucking place. Yeah. Right. And I feel like that's actually amazing because you really bring down the barriers, right? Whether it's the education barrier, the liquidity barrier, the transactional barrier, right? Right? So I think the whole point is, I think when you bring down barriers and stuff, you don't just 2x it, you 100x it, right? And then when you bring down 3 barriers, you don't just like 300x it, you million-x it, right? So I feel like that is the thing they're looking for, right? And I think, and to be clear, we will get that tomorrow, right? Right? It's not a tomorrow thing, right? But I think, but that's how we're doing it now, right? And by the way, guys, one thing real quick is that Imran has been super helpful for GUM, right? I talked to him about GUM. He like got it immediately. He's like, okay, let me give you 5 names, 6 names, 7 names, 8 names, 10 names. I'm like, dude, I can't do so many. I can't take it, right? Yeah. But yeah, I think yeah. So I think yeah, it's actually really important. Yeah.
I think like sorry, Cash, were you saying something? Sorry.
No, please go ahead, buddy.
I think the other area, which I was really surprised about that you guys talked about, which I think we should talk about, is the clone protocol. Being able to replicate assets of Dogecoin, and I think it was Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Arbitrum and Optimism as well.
So Arbitrum and Optimism. Yeah. I mean, I'm starting to see the vision, right? I don't know if all the listeners on the call, if they're listening, but or if they're following this narrative, but right now, there isn't really a way to buy. I mean, like, yes, you can through centralized exchanges, you can get, all these assets, but, a lot of them are based on jurisdiction. There's on-ramps, off-ramps, there's completely different types of like regulatory environments that could allow or disallow people to actually buy these assets. So being able to do this permissionlessly is a very big unlock. And so I really thought that, another cool thing, I don't know if you guys talked about it, but I think clone protocol is pretty cool.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think the thing is this, right? I think when you take and obviously for anything that's like cloned or wrapped, that's not natively on chain, right? I mean, you have three categories, right? You have like the packed tokens, clone tokens, wrap tokens, right? These things take a while to form up, right? To gain the trust of the ecosystem, right? As they should, right? I think one of the things that I always tell people is that if you want to get to $1 billion TVL or whatever, you should expect to wait for a while, right? Because you shouldn't expect people to trust you just because of whatever, right? And then we've seen that disaster happen many times, right? I think as you guys know, I did BTC, right? And then and it took a while. I mean, if people look at it now, like wow, it's like what 10 billion or whatever, but it didn't get there in a day, right? It took like 3 years to get there, right? And as it should, right? So I feel like I think the whole point of us investing in GAM now, and really try to bring in all these assets right now and drive adoption right now is because the earlier we need to get to a tipping point, right?
Yeah.
Like Imran, there's a certain like tipping point to get over, right? It's like, I mean, we can talk about RWAs and everything all we want, but the reality is this: if we don't have a critical mass of users, the keyword is users, okay, not investors, not VCs, users, right, who are comfortable with these ideas around wrap assets, clone assets, backed assets, right? And I'm saying we won't get there, we won't get anywhere, right? We need to start today. We need to start getting people familiar and comfortable and owning them, right? Because why? Because if you own if you got like 1,000 people owning $100 now, right? That's a good start, right? If was next year, what does it mean? 100,000 people will own $1,000, and what does it mean 3 or 4 years later, right? It means that 1 million people own like $10,000 each, right? And that's actually where the big unlock happens, So I think that and so that's how we think about it, We think about like driving adoption today, spreading awareness today, and getting the assets on chain today, right? Because the faster they're on chain stuff, the more trust can start building, right? Yeah. So yeah, I think that's how I think that's how I think about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really excited about seeing this come into fruition. Having a permissionless global way of being able to trade any asset atomically across all different asset classes. I think it's going to be big. Like, I'm trying to hold in my bullishness.
I mean, let it out. I just think it's fun, guys. I mean, that's the point of crypto, right? It's the fun. It's like, it's funny. I gotta say funny. So here's something funny story, right? It's like, and I know I'm going way over the here, but then no, but here's a funny story. It's like, so when I first started in crypto, right? The first thing that I did was that I started mapping out all the different like system, like like settlement systems, remittance systems, like Visa settlement layers, like Swift, like everything, right? So I think and then I think one thing I started to realize that wow, holy shit, we all these things were invented for the past, right? And then right now with Solana and Jupiter and all these assets, right? We don't need these things anymore, right? We can really replace every one of these things, right, with one single network, and that's fucking powerful, man. It's fucking insane, right? So I think I think and I feel like that is the and that's the world to work towards, right? Because I think that's the world that is fun. That's the world where like people start to go, oh, crypto is actually useful, right?
Yes, very good.
There's a cool way in which like there's a literal network effect that happens here, and it's like 3 network effects kind of stacked on top of each other, right? Like the more assets you have, the more valuable the kind of network becomes. The more markets that actually link these assets, the more liquidity is able to flow, the more liquidity actually joins. And then the more users you have, the more people actually use the liquid markets with all the assets. And so as the GAM Alliance kind of comes together here across these 3 dimensions, from assets to markets to accessibility, I think you're going to see this kind of like very quickly compounding kind of effect. Again, I know I'm the one who keeps saying it's very ambitious vision.
Hopefully, right? I think you are going to have early adopters, right? I think, for example, I think a good goal to have, like, for example, I think, I mean, and for example, like Clone, they didn't have any usage, right? But then after it got Jupiter, I mean, the a lot more people knew about it, right? I'm saying same with LSTs, right? It's like, for example, I think LST is a big deal as well, because for example, I think with Sanctum, you might have like 200 LSTs, but unless you can go between them easily, it's pointless, right? Right? So I think that's actually kind of like what we try to do, right? We really work extremely hard, right, at like trying to take all these assets and markets and stuff and put it into one protocol, Yeah, so that's kind of what we do, Yeah. But yeah, I think that's actually really important. Yeah.
I think so as well. Imran, we are indeed, the vote is actually going to start in just a few minutes here, so we need to wrap up in a second. Imran, for anyone who's building in the audience, well, I'm not even going to ask you to say it. I will tell anyone. If you are building something in crypto, like the best thing you can do is apply to Alliance DAO and get in. incredible levels of mentorship. The founder network, he mentioned a few, like half the top projects on Solana. I've already been through it. Absolutely apply.
Not just that. Like they like it. Like one last thing I'll say here is that Alliance is like the only, like one of the only, if the or not the only, firm that gets it. Like they get the whole stack, right? You know, from the really regulated stuff to the really fucking degen stuff, right? They get the whole stack, and there's no other investment firm that gets it the whole stack. I'm telling you right now, no one, right? You know, so if you want, so whether you're doing this thing or that thing, up, down, left, right, Alliance is your boy, and Imran is a man.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you out, brother. Good. I know we'll be talking very soon. Go follow Imran on Twitter as well. He's got some Gigabrain takes. We'll get Gigabrain in there. Definitely worth checking out.
Thank you so much, Hamid. Thank you. Thank you
so much. Well, folks, we have one last segment here, and then we will jump. But it is a segment that is well worth the wait. It is the Cadets Corner, and today we have Mr. Wake joining us here. Drop a little J for J in the chat for Wake. Look at the happiness on it. He's giving you the finger as well, which I assume is a positive sign.
F. Yeah, it's just a me and him thing.
No, fuck you.
It's all love. It's all love.
No, fuck you, bro.
Right, well, you said it, dude. Come on, man. I wasn't gonna say it. This is supposed to be a professional stream. We can't.
Oh yeah, fuck you.
That went out the window a long time ago, unfortunately. But
okay, that's good.
For anyone who doesn't already know, can you tell them a little bit about the backstory and how you got into crypto and Jupiter?
Of course, yeah. So I got into crypto about 2018. I bought $5 of Ethereum and then just ignored it. I got pretty hardcore involved in 2020. That's when I really started my degen arc, and here I am now, a complete JUP convert. I'm obviously a Jupiter DAO member, and I recently finished my master's degree earlier this year in usability and user experience in Web3 applications. So it's mad appropriate. Transitioning from student life to non-student life is awkward and challenging for some. But what JUP has done is it's given me a place to continue to learn and continue to improve my skills and meet a bunch of awesome people, make a bunch of awesome friends. And I don't think that exists in many places. There's been a bunch of Web3 communities that have attempted it, but they haven't captured it. This whole concept, Meow, we have to credit you for this, and the JUP team. Like, the working group concept is insane. Like, if we just take a step back, if we take a step back and compare it to what the GUM initiatives groups were talking about earlier, like, we actually have the potential to be involved as DAO members in the change of systemic finance. It's absolutely bonkers. So I'm here for it. It's really fun. I'm part of a voter empowerment proposal group, not a working group yet, but fingers crossed. We really want to push cadets and voters to be as informed as possible before clicking that vote button. So we'll see how that goes.
And you're also very involved in the Reddit thing as well, right? The Reddit thing.
Yeah,
Reddit.
all about Reddit. All about Reddit. Love Reddit. I've been on Reddit for a long time. Yeah.
Let's experiment with that stuff. You know, I think it will take a lot of experiment and stuff, but we will do it. We'll get done. We get it, bro. We get done. Yeah,
I think we will. Reddit can just be like that. It just happens, bro. It just happens. So Meow and the JUP team have given us an insane opportunity here, boys and girls. Like, get involved. Like, it's made my life so much better by just getting involved.
Wow. Thank you.
Just get involved. Like, be in the Discord, join voice. You don't need to, just chat, get involved. It's fun. Side note, Cumberland, love to see a research paper on a planetary call for once, W. And I also love your name. It's my favorite type of sausage. So you have my support. And also, I tweeted yesterday about what ticker should I shill on this call. The ticker is JUP.
I almost had to remove you from the stage. I was like, this is not that kind of comment. Okay.
The ticker is JUP. I'll go now. I'll cut it shortly because the vote is now live, by the way. But everyone, please, I want to remind you to do at least a skim read before you make your votes, guys. Just at least a skim read, just so you understand the bare minimum of what you're voting for. And again, your choice does not affect your rewards. I appreciate you all. Thank you.
Wait,
One really quick thing is that Wick, thank you so much for being always an excellent combination of the devil's advocate, but also the cheerleader, right? You know what I'm saying? You know, I love that combination so much, right? The combination of being a devil advocate and cheerleader and actually doing stuff, right? So I try to be as well, right? So I try to be all three as well, right? You know, so I appreciate you doing that. Yeah, I do. Yeah, thank you.
I remember a while ago you were like, "Wake, I'm surprised you're nice," and I was like, "Yeah, like I'm just vocal," and so it might come across, you know, however, but it's like we're all in this together, man. Like we just
all in together. Yeah, precisely. Yeah. Cool, man. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thanks for coming out. Thanks for everything you do in the community as
Cheers,
well.
Cash.
Folks, be like Wake. Be a valued member of the community. Flick Meow off every time you see him. If you ever see Meow in real life, just give him the finger. He loves it.
Yeah. I dig that. Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Cool. Wake, thank you so much for
Thank you.
Folks, we are just about out of time here because the round 3 for the LFG Launchpad has officially begun. People can go and vote as of 30 or about a minute ago. That's vote.jup.ag. You can also scan this QR code to get over there. As a reminder, there are some changes that have come through. The blind voting, so you won't see what the results are before you vote. The partial unstake, in case you want to reduce your stake, although why you do that before you vote, I don't know. And then, of course, the informed voter timer. So you can be like Wake, and you can stay informed as you go through it. Let's see. It isn't live just yet. It is going live very soon. So just keep watching. Keep an eye out. I think Soju, the lady killer, drop a little lady killer in the chat. Soju's girlfriend not watching today. So ladies, if you're watching and you want to shoot your shot, I know Soju is watching. You can drop a little message in here for that. Let that be a lesson to Soju's girlfriend to always watch the calls. And the vote will be getting very, very soon. If you aren't already, go follow Jupiter DAO on Twitter. I think they've ran this up to like 4,000 followers in just the last few days. x.com/Jup_DAO. That is the dedicated channel for all.
And JUP Cadets too. JUP
Cadets as well. Oh, that's another. There's a lot of Twitter pages. We got to create a Twitter list here, Meow, just for all these things to be in one place here. But the JUP Cadets also have a Twitter page. You can also scan this QR code right now to follow along with the JUP DAO. And then we finally have the not so surprised POAP. What do you think? Diamond Paws.
Oh, Diamond Paws. Let's go.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Diamond
if you want to get this, you can scan this QR code, verify your Twitter or Discord. You remember you have to have at least 50 JUPs staked on the wallet that you're submitting in order to get it. I'm very excited to see. I actually should get it myself, honestly. I've never gotten it before. So this will be my first one. People can check this out. We just posted the link in the YouTube chat as well. If you can't scan the QR code, app.dform.cc with some other stuff. All right, folks, that is going to do it for us today. The vote is now live. I'm being told, breaking news, the vote is now live. So you go to vote.jup.ag, vote between, or I should say among, D-Bridge, Exchange Art, and DiviBet. You will get rewards no matter who you vote for, as long as you vote. So vote your conscience, vote honestly for whoever you think is going to be the best to get it. And then we'll go out here. I need to actually stop my screen so that I can reshare this and actually get the sound as well, so that no one yells at me in the chat, because I know usually I get yelled at for fucking up the sound on this. We'll play this on the way out right here.
I give a second chance to get but now what you feel is still there. All the way it makes me feel the love is in the real. You is so tough. I give a second chance to get but now what you feel is still there. It's all the way it makes me feel the love is in the real. You is so tough.
All right, folks, for myself, for Meow, for everybody else who is on the call, thank you so much for coming out. You don't have to go home, but you cannot stay here. We'll see you on the next one. Same time, same place next week. Goodbye. Love you all. Bye. Meow.